n is a given finite energy discrete time sequence, and I assume that for this particular sequence x of n, if I could choose the value of length as capital L, we always assume that that value of L is either equal to or less than the value of capital N. That we know. And what did we do? We say, for example, we are going to compute its DFT, and we represent the DFT of x of n by x of k. Similarly, we take the sequence xp of n, okay? And I think all of you know what is xp of n. The term xp of n refers to the periodic extension of x of n itself. If the same sequence x of n is getting repeated periodically after certain interval of time, that sequence is called as xp of n, or in terms of statement, xp of n is termed as the periodic extension of a given discrete time sequence x of n. So for xp of n also, if I could compute its DFT, now say for example, I abbreviate it as xp of k, it is found that this particular term is equal to this particular term. I mean to say, the DFT of the periodic sequence is said to be equal to the DFT of the given discrete time sequence x of n. Why? Because if you say why, madam, because we know that the equation relating these two sequences are xp of n is given by summation L varying from minus to plus infinity x of n minus ln. You can remember this particular equation which we recalled in one of the derivation. Okay, so xp of n is nothing but what? The periodic extension of x of n. After every length L, the same sequence is getting repeated itself. That is why the DFT of this is nothing but the DFT of this given sequence. Now what is that? We know the two sequences x of n and xp of n. Now what I'll do is I'll be introducing one more new variable called as xp dash of n. Now what I'll do is I'll just take into consideration one more new variable called as xp of n. And if you could ask, madam, what is xp dash of n? I'll say xp dash of n is given by xp of n minus k, that is given by summation L varying from minus to plus infinity x of n minus k minus ln. So if you could look at this equation, what comes into your mind? What is xp dash of n? If the given sequence xp of n is right shifted by an interval of k units, I get xp dash of n. So what is xp dash of n? The right shifted version of the sequence xp of n. It has been right shifted by how many units? By k units. Accordingly, the equation for xp dash of n is the same equation, but what I've done, I've replaced n by n minus k, because the sequence has got what? Right shifted by a term of k units, the k units. If it is so, finally we are going to arrive at this equation saying that x dash of n is nothing but equal to the value of xp dash of n. Xp dash of n, what interval? Interval n lying between 0 to n minus 1, or else it is 0 outside this range, otherwise. So what is x? See, now totally there are 4 variables over here. What is x of n? X of n is a given finite energy discrete time sequence. What is xp of n? The periodic extension of x of n. Yes, with x of n and xp of n, I introduce a new variable called as xp dash of n. What is xp dash of n? Xp dash of n is nothing but the same periodic extension sequence, okay, which is what? Right shifted by k units, If it is so, I'm introducing a 4th variable called as x dash of n. I'm considering x dash of n what? To be equal to the same sequence xp dash of n over the interval 0 to n minus 1. Over the interval 0 to n minus 1, what all samples are present, that is nothing but equal to the value of x dash of n. And we say whatever is this sequence we have got x dash of n is obtained by what is called as circular, is obtained by what is called as circular shift of the given original sequence, So in terms of theoretically, if I could define what is x dash of n is nothing but the circular shift of the original sequence. What was the original sequence? X of n. From x of n, if I could shift it circularly, not linearly. If I could shift it circularly, that circular shift of the original sequence is abbreviated as x dash of n. Okay. Now, if you could ask me, madam, what exactly do you mean by that circular shift? I'll just take a small example and let you know. Okay. Now, just say, for example, what we'll do, we'll start with the original sequence x of n. I'll just consider original sequence x of n. And now what I'll do, I'll just consider 4 samples. Okay, I'll just consider 4 samples. If the waveform is not weak, kindly excuse me because I'm using this writing tab. You can't expect much of legibility. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now say for example, this is my given original sequence x of n. So here, what is the value of length L? The value of length L is equal to 4, and I assume that this is also equal to the value of capital N. Okay. Now, what is the value of x of 0 in this case? The value of x of 0 is 4. The value of x of 1 is equal to 3. The value of x of 2 is equal to 2. The value of x of 3 is said to be equal to what? Basically what? 1. How many samples I've got? The duration, 4 samples. Now, I'll rewrite what is called as the waveform for xp of n. What is xp of n? Basically, the periodic extension of x of n. Same thing, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, it's going to get repeat. What is that? 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on. The same thing happens here also. What is that? 1, 2, 3, and 4. The same thing repeats. What is the sequence equal to? This sequence is nothing but xp of n, which is nothing but the periodic extension of x of n. Now, let us consider the third sequence, what is called as xp dash of n. Whatever I use the term xp dash of n, what is xp dash of n? See, please note that in this case, xp dash of n is nothing but what? The sequence xp of n right shifted by a unit of k. In this case, I assume that value of k is equal to 2. So what is xp dash of n? Xp of n minus shifted by n value of 2 units. So now what I must do? Whatever sequence I had here, 4, 3, 2, 1, at 0, 1, 2, 3, that must be what? Right shifted by an interval of 2. So instead of starting my sample values at 0 or not at 1, what I must do? I must start from 2. So what comes at 2? What is called as 4, then followed by 3, then followed by 2, then followed by 1. Is it clear? Again, same thing repeats. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing again over here. What comes exactly over here is that, see, please clear to this, it is basically what? 1, 2, 3, and 4. See, if you could observe the sequence, xp of n and xp of n, whatever the sample 4 I had over here, that has got what? Right shifted to this particular point. This is the value of 4, 3, 2, and 1. The same sequence xp of n has got what? Right shifted by how many units? By 2 units. Yes, now what is the last sequence which I must represent? Now, how does the sequence x dash of n looks like now? So what did I say? X dash of n? X dash of n is nothing but equal to what? If the value x dash of n is nothing but equal to the value of xp dash of n. For what interval? For interval n lying between what? 0 to n minus 1. So what I'll do, I'll just consider the intervals at only between 0, 1, 2, and 3. Because in this case, what's the value of n in our case? 4. What is 4 minus 1? 3. So between 0 and n minus 1, okay, what I must do? I must collect the 4 samples. So what is x dash of n equal to? Xp dash of n over what interval? Interval 0 to 3. So what I've got at interval 0? At interval 0, what I've got? 2. And what I've got at interval 1? I've got what? Sample 1. What I've got at 0, 1, 2? Interval 4. And what I've got over here? 3. Is it clear? Please note from here. This was 2, this was 1, this was 4, and this is 3. This is what? Sample 0, sample 1, sample 2, and sample 3. So in this case now, in present case, what is x dash of 0 equal to? X dash of 0 is equal to 2. What is x dash of 1 equal to? Is equal to 1. What is x dash of 2 equal to? 4. What is x dash of 3 equal to? Is said to be equal to 3. This is how I generate the signal x dash of n. Okay, this is what I've represented on a linear scale, and I've shown you the right shift. I've represented the given sequence on a linear scale, and I've shown you the right shift. But sometime back, I used the word x dash of n is nothing but what? The circular shift of the original sequence. Circular shift of the original sequence. If it is so, how do I show the circular shift of the given original sequence? For that, what I'll do is, now let's talk about the circular shift. Okay, let's talk about the circular shift. Okay, I'll just do one thing. Now what we'll do is, we'll consider the given discrete time sequence x of n to be represented on a circle, and I assume that in the present context, the samples of x of n for the increasing values of n be represented in the anti-clockwise direction. Now say for example, this is the circle, basically this is the circle. It needs some practice, right? Okay, yeah, this is a circle, and I assume that on this circle I'll be representing x of n. But how many samples? 4 samples. X of 0 in my original sequence, what was x of 0 equal to? 4. What was x of 1 equal to? X of 1 was equal to 3. And what was x of 2 equal to? X of 2 was equal to 2. And finally, x of 3 was equal to 1. This is my original sequence. And please note that I plotted the sequence, I've represented the sequence in the anti-clockwise direction. The value of indexing n is going on increasing. Okay, in what direction? In the anti-clockwise direction. If you ask, madam, why not in the clockwise direction? In this case, I've assumed the anti-clockwise direction to be positive, and so I've represented in the anti-clockwise direction. That is just an illusion. That's it, nothing else. Now, if this is x of n, now how do I represent x dash of n? How did I get x dash of n? By right shifting the periodic sequence by an unit of 2, So now how exactly that sequence looks like? Now say for example, if this is a new circle, and I want to represent x dash of n. So what I must do over here, basically, what was my original sequence? That sequence, okay, now say for example, if this is for sampling indexing 0, if this is for 1, this is for 2, and this is for 3, my original sequence x of 0 will come over here. Okay, x of 0 equal to 4 comes over here. Then x of 1, which was equal to what? 3 comes over here. Then x of 2, what is the value which is equal to 2 comes over here. And then x of 3, whose value is equal to 1, comes over here. This is what? The representation of x of 0, shifting it by what? By shifting it by 2 units, by 2 units in the anti-clockwise direction. But since I'm saying that on this circle, I'm representing x dash of n, whatever quantity I've got over here, now this has to be what? This has to be x dash of 0. In this case, what is x dash of 0 equal to? X dash of 0 is equal to x of 0. Okay. See, this is what? X dash of 0 is equal to this present value of 2, whose earlier value was x of 2. Similarly, the new value x dash of 1 is equal to what? The value of 1. What was this value of 1 equal to? X of 3 in the earlier sequence. Similarly, x dash of 2 is equal to 4. What was the value equal to? X of 0. Similarly, the last one is x dash of 3 is equal to what? X of 1, whose earlier value was equal to 3. Now, please note that I'll just write these equations over here. So in the new context, please note that x dash of 0 is equal to 2, x dash of 1 is equal to 1. Similarly, what was that? X dash of 2 is equal to 4, but whereas x dash of 3 is equal to 3. What was the original sequence? X of 0 was 4, x of 1 was 3, x of 2 is equal to 2, and x of 1 was equal to 1. Now, whatever equations I've written over here, by shifting the sequence by 2 units to the right, for that, I'll represent this in the form of an equation, relating x dash of n and x of n, and the equation goes like this. That is why this term x dash of n can be written as x of n minus k, comma, modulo n. You would have heard about the term modulus in mathematics. The same term is being used over here. Or in other words, to be much more simpler, we represent this as x of n minus k modulus n. This is how we represent what is called as circular shift. So what is x dash of n? X dash of n is a circular shifted version of the original sequence, which is given by x of n minus k. What is k? K represents by what units I have shifted the sequence towards my right hand side, and modulus of what is capital N? The original length of the given sequence. The other way of representing this is x of n minus k modulus n. That is why we concluded as the circular shifted sequence x dash of n is represented by index modulo n. Now I think everybody knows this modulus operator. If I could just say a mod b, what does it mean in mathematics? A modulus of b is equal to a minus b multiplied by some value of p, where p is an integer. I repeat once again, a modulus b in case of mathematics is given by a, the term a, minus the term b, and this b has to be multiplied by a suitable value of p. Now the question is, what should I choose to multiply this value of p? The value of p should be chosen in such a way that whatever resulting answer I get, that answer should be always positive, and that answer should not exceed the value of k. I'll repeat once again, the value of p should be chosen in such a way that the result should be always positive, and the result should not be greater than the value of b. Accordingly, I must choose the value of p. In our case, let's choose what we'll apply this equation to our sequence. So what is x dash of n in our case? X dash of n is what? X of n minus, what is the value of k in our case? We have shifted it by what? 2 units. And what is the value of n in our case? The length was equal to 4. Now we'll just, one second, I'll just introduce some more lines. Okay. So now let's do it. Now we'll just try for sequence for indexing 0. So now what is x dash of 0 equal to? X dash of 0 is equal to x of 0 minus 2 modulus 4. This is nothing but what? This is nothing but x of minus 2 modulus 4. So this is nothing but what? This is nothing but minus 2 modulus 4. So what did I say? This period is what? Minus 2a minus the value of b. What I must do? I must choose a certain value of p. The value of p should be chosen in such a way that the result should be positive and the result should not exceed the value of b. What's the value of b in my case? 4. It should not exceed this value of p. So in this case, accordingly, I choose the value of p to be minus 1, minus 2, minus 4 times of minus 1. Okay, if you could choose that, this answer turns out to be minus 2 plus 4. The answer is equal to 2. If I could say 2 means this 2 has to what? Come within the bracket. So therefore, x dash of 0 is what? X of 2. So in the previous case, what was my x of 2? That is equal to 2. That is equal to 2. Verified for the first case. In the next interval onwards, let's do it a bit fast. Now you know the method. Now similarly, what is x dash of 1? So x dash of 1 is nothing but what? X of the value of n is 1 minus the value of k is 2 modulus 4. This is nothing but what? 1 minus 2 is minus 1. This is nothing but what? Minus 1 modulus value of 4. So what should happen? Minus 1 minus 4 times the value of p. Now can you people suggest what should be the value of p over here? Again, in this case, you must check whether the value of p is 0 or minus 1 or plus 1, whatever it is there. Okay. Always try to choose the lowest value of p. That lowest value of p must give me a positive answer. At the same time, what is that? The result must not exceed the value of b. And note that p always has to be an integer, a real integer, either negative or positive, no problem. So accordingly, here also, if I could choose the value of p to be equal to minus 1 minus 4 times of minus 1, the resulting answer is equal to 3. So therefore, x dash of 1, which is said to be equal to x of 3. So in my previous case, what was the value of x of 3? The value of x of 3 is equal to 1. So I've done over here. Okay. Next, similarly, what is x dash of 2? X dash of 2 is x of the value of n is 2 minus 2 times modulo 4. This is nothing but what? This is nothing but 2 minus 2 is 0. That is equal to 0 into mod value of 4. Accordingly, this should be 0 minus 4 times. Again, the value of p you must suggest. In this case, the best value of p can be 0. So 0 minus 4 times 0 turns out to be 0. So accordingly, here the value of x dash of 2 is nothing but the value of x of 0. I think the value of x of 0 is equal to 4. Lastly, the value of x dash of 3 is x of, note that the value of n is 3, the value of k is 2, modulus 4, 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 times modulus value of 4, 1 times modulus value of 4. So therefore, this is nothing but 1 value is 1 minus 4 times the value of p. In this case, if I could choose the value of p to be 0, the answer turns out to be 1. Therefore, x dash of 3 is equal to x of 1. In my original sequence, what was x of 1 was equal to 3. Is it clear? Now I think you people can check out. You can just check out the value. Okay, you can just check out the value of x. Okay, I'll just summarize the answer. We'll just summarize the answer. So accordingly, what do we get now? X dash of 0 is equal to x dash of 1 is equal to x dash of 2 is equal to, and x dash of 3. X dash of 3 was equal to 3, and then x dash of 2 is equal to 4 is equal to 4. Now what happens in 4, then 1 and 2, 4, 1 and 2. So I think the same answer what we had got earlier. This is equal to 4, this is equal to 1, this is equal to 2. This is called as the circular shift operation, or shifting a given sequence on the circular scale. Probably you would have learned this in mathematics. Still, to just refresh you people, I've chosen. But as I told you, keep in mind, how should you choose a value of p? You see, obviously you can choose a higher value to get the same answer. But keep in mind, the value of p should be the lowest value. Whatever value of p I'm going to choose to get the answer, there shouldn't be no other value less than that, which is going to provide me the answer which is positive and which is less than b. Accordingly, you must choose the value of p. So this is called as the circular shift operation. That is why we generally write the sequence x dash of n as equal to what? X of n minus k modulo n. That modulo n refers to the circular shifted version of x of n shifted by k units. In what direction? In the anti-clockwise direction. See, if you have understood this concept of circular shift, only we can proceed further. So any doubts, you people can always ask me before I could proceed to the next following topics. Because this concept of circular shift will be used hence afterwards everywhere in the forthcoming topics. Anyone who has got any doubts anywhere from the beginning can ask me. Is it clear? Students, any doubts, please ask me.
Yes,
Was the concept of modulus clear to you people? A mod B?
yes, ma'am.
Ah.
Yes,
Any doubts? Does any one of you requires a second time teaching? Should I say it once again for anyone, or is the concept clear? Please reply, yeah, from the other end.
Clear, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Clear. Okay, then we shall move further. Okay, we shall move further. Don't worry, I've recorded this class. I'll be sending again this entire copy, okay, along with the audio will be shared to you people. Okay. Now, if we have understood the concept of circular shift, again over here, we speak about something called as even sequence and odd sequence. Probably this concept of even and odd, you would have learned it in your signals and systems. We also revised this in the beginning of DSP class. Hence afterwards, even on the circular domain, we speak about this even sequence and odd sequence. Okay, and this even sequence and odd sequence is spoken with respect to my periodic sequence xp of n. So in general, we say a given sequence is even if xp of n is equal to xp of minus n. Is it clear? We just say that the given sequence, the given periodic sequence is said to be even provided what? Xp of n is equal to xp of minus n. Similarly, we say that the given sequence, periodic sequence is odd if xp of n is equal to what? Minus xp of minus n. These are the definitions of a even sequence and odd sequence with respect to what? With respect to the periodic sequence xp of n. This is one thing which you people must remember. And moving further, coming back to what is called as the circularly shifted sequence. Please note and listen to this below sentence carefully. A given n-point sequence is said to be circularly even if it is symmetric about the point 0. I'll repeat once again. A given n-point sequence is said to be circularly even in nature, provided what? If it is symmetric about what point? About the point 0, where? On the circle. What does it mean? What does this above sentence mean? Okay. Now say for example, I'm going to draw a circle. I'll consider a 5-point sequence. Say this is x of 0, say this is x of 1, say this is x of 2, say this is x of 3, and say this is x of 4. This is what a given endpoint sequence. What is the value of n over here? The value of n is equal to 5. In this case, does the sequence do gets qualified as an circularly even? When do we say circularly even? Provided if it's what? If it is symmetric with respect to point 0. If I say symmetric with respect to this indexing 0 means it indicates that x of 1 is equal to x of 4, and if x of 2 is equal to x of 3. Is it clear? With respect to this zeroth indexing, if x of 1 is equal to x of 4 and if x of 2 is equal to x of 3, then the given sequence, the given endpoint sequence is called as circularly even sequence. Which means what? Which means that for a circularly even sequence, x of n is given by x of n minus n, n minus 1, n minus n, and a few textbooks denote the circularly even property by x of n is equal to x of minus n modulo n. Okay, and this particular two equations are said to be valid over what range? Over the range 1 less than or equal to n less than or equal to n minus 1. Okay, few textbooks follow this convention, few textbooks follow this convention. It means one and the same. If the given sequence is said to be symmetric with respect to the zeroth sample, if these two samples are equal, then it is a circularly even sequence. Now automatically you people can ask me a question, madam, whatever above sequence you draw, that was the case of an odd, the value of n was odd. Now say for example, I'm going to consider an even length sequence with how many samples in this case? Say for example, 4 samples, x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, and x of 3. Then how does the definition holds good? Same thing. Even in this case, the given endpoint sequence is said to be circularly even if it is symmetric with respect to point 0. It means what in this case? In this case, x of 1 is equal to x of 3. X of 1 is equal to x of 3. What about x of 2? X of 2 will be equal to x of 2 itself. There's no other corresponding match to it. X of 2 is equal to x of 2 by itself, but whereas x of 1 should be equal to x of 3. That is what the case of an even length sequence. Then the given sequence x of n is said to be circularly even. Next, with respect to this, opposite of this is what? When do you say a given sequence is circularly odd? So a given sequence is said to be circularly odd. What it can be the opposite definition. If it is what? If it is anti-symmetric. If it is what? Anti-symmetric. About what? About the point 0. On what? On the circle. With respect to zeroth indexing on the circle, if a given sequence is anti-symmetric, then such a kind of sequence is said to be circularly odd. Let's consider the same. What is that? A 5-point sequence. This is what? X of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3. What is that? An x of 4. Then in this case, when do you say a given sequence is odd? If what? If x of 1 is equal to minus x of 4, if x of 2 is equal to minus x of 3, then the given sequence x of n is circularly odd. Please note that minus n, which relates to anti-symmetric property. In terms of equation, we say x of n is equal to minus of x of n minus n, or in other words, x of n is said to be equal to minus of x of minus n to mod n. 1 second. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. Is it clear? So if these two definitions holds good for a given endpoint sequence, which is said to be what? Anti-symmetric with respect to indexing 0, then we call the given sequence to be circularly odd. Even in this case also, the range of n is value from 1 less than or equal to n less than or equal to n minus 1, n minus 1. And again, what the doubt must come to you people. Man, what happens if it is an even length of n? This is a very valid point. Do remember, as long as the given length n is said to be even, in nature, and such a kind of sequence is said to be circularly odd, provided if its n by 2 value is always 0. Very, very important point to remember. Is it clear? For example, if it is what? If it is a length of 4, yeah, length of 4. So how many sequence we get? X of 0, what do we get? We get x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, and x of 3. Okay. What do you mean by symmetricity? With respect, what do you mean by anti-symmetric with respect to indexing 0? With respect to indexing 0, if x of 1 is equal to what? Minus of x of 3, fine. If x of 1 is equal to minus of x of 3, fine. But what should be the value of x of 2? The n by 2 value should be what? Should be equal to 0. Should be equal to what? 0. Then such a kind of sequence is called as circularly odd sequence. That odd, for an even length sequence, that value n by 2 should be equal to 0 and x of 1 should be equal to minus of x of 3. As long as it is an odd length, no issue. With respect to x of 0, x of 1 should be equal to minus of x of 4 and x of 2 should be equal to minus of x of 3. Such a kind of sequence is called as circularly odd sequence. Is it clear, students? Clear? Can you proceed further? Can we proceed further? Any clarification required?
Yes, ma'am.
Boys, are there any boys in the classroom? Okay. The class strength 57. Okay, fine. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, fine. So now, yeah, with this, okay, fine. See, these are all some basic prerequisites required to know the properties. Okay, I've got all the prerequisites. So let's move further. And now we will be defining a new term. We'll be defining a new term called as time reversal. And so afterwards, if I use the word time reversal for a given sequence, what does it mean? What does it mean? Let's see. Time reversal. I'll just give a statement. Please listen to the statement. Time reversal of a given endpoint sequence can be obtained how? If the samples are identified in the reverse order about the point 0 on the circle. Okay, I've got a circle. Okay, if I could start identifying the samples in the reverse order, instead of going from 0, 1, 2, 3, if I start identifying the given samples as what? 0, not 1, then what? 3, 2, 1, then such a kind of sequence, such a kind of that phenomenon is referred to as time reversal. Time reversal. Okay, let's take a small example. If this is a given sequence, now say for example, I'm representing x of n. This is what? X of 0. This is what? X of 1. This is what? X of 2. And this is what? X of 3. This is the given sequence. If I could subject this to time reversal operation, I get what? I get a new C. This is what? X of n. I subject this to time reversal operation. I get what? X dash of n. X dash of n. In this case, what I must do? So I'll represent, start from what? X dash of 0 itself. X dash of 0. Instead of going as 1, 2, and 3, what I must do now? Over here? Okay, go in the reverse order. Go in the reverse order. X dash of 0. Okay, so for example, do one thing. If you could just get confused, if you want to use the same terminology with respect to x and x only, okay, in this case, yeah, x dash of 0 is equal to x of 0, no issue. And in this case, please note that x dash of 1 should be equal to what? X of 3. Instead of 0, I must not go for 1, 2, 3. X of 0 should not be x of 1, it should be what? X of 3. Similarly, what is x dash of 2? X dash of 2 is equal to x of 2, because it's an even length sequence, this will match. And what is x dash of 3 equal to? X dash of 3 is equal to x of 1. Please note that here, check the indexing of x 0, 1, 2 and 3. Here, check the indexing of x 0. It is 0. It is not 1. It is what? 3. It's what? 2. It's what? 1. Here the indexing is 0, 1, 2, 3. Here the indexing is 0, 3, 2, 1. Hence, I use the word, the very phenomenon of time reversal refers to identifying the sequence x of n in the reverse order, So whatever new sequence I'm going to obtain, that new sequence is called as a time reverse sequence of the original sequence x of n. Therefore, we call x dash of n as x of minus n modulo n. See, whenever we are doing the operations on the circular scale, is always, I told you, the circular shift is always indicated by the index modulo n. If you could ask, madam, where is the amount of shift? There is no shift. That is why I have not introduced any k. I have not introduced any k because there is no shift. What is that minus represents? The sequencing has got reversed. Instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, I'm going from what? 0, 3, 2, 1. So that reversing the order of samples is designated by this minus symbol. This is all. This is all about time reversal operation. Now, if you are familiar with the circular shift operation, and when you say the given sequence is circularly even, when you say a given endpoint sequence is circularly odd, and if you are well equipped with the property of time reversal, now we can move on to the properties under circular shift. Okay, we'll just move on to the properties. And this properties also, I'll just teach you a small trick as how to remember here. First, let us learn the properties. Then I'll just give you a small kind of hint how to remember. And obviously, your derivation should work out smoothly. Okay. So let's begin with the very first property with respect to circular shift. What it says is the very first property it states is, I assume x of n, or I start up with the given sequence x of n, my discrete time sequence, to be what? To be a real valued sequence, And what is the range of n? N will vary from 0 to n minus 1, I start with this sequence x of n. Then, if I could obtain its endpoint DFT, I abbreviated it as x of k. And what is the range of k? K will start from 0, 1, it goes till where? It goes till n minus 1. It goes to what? N minus 1. Then, as long as x of n is a real valued sequence, once I compute its DFT, it's found that x of k is equal to x conjugate, complex conjugate of n minus k, or in other words, x complex conjugate of k is equal to x of n minus k. Both of these two equations means one and the same, but different kind of representation. So in today's derivation class, we are supposed to prove this. What to prove? If x of n is a given real valued sequence, we have to prove that its corresponding DFT x of k is equal to what? Complex conjugate of the same DFT shifted by k units towards the right. Or other words, what? The complex conjugate of DFT is equal to the DFT of the same, the DFT right shifted by K units. These two equations means the same. So let's get on with the proof. The proof is pretty simpler. As and when I'm doing the proof, any doubt, please do ask me. We'll start with what? We'll start with the very basic definition of DFT. What does it say? X of k is given by summation small n varying from 0 to n minus 1 x of n. What I'll do is I'll just write this in terms of a twiddle factorial. It's fine. I think everybody knows what is Wn to the power of nk. Okay. I'll just introduce a few lines. So I don't. Okay. Yes. Fine. Okay. So let's start now with the very basic equation. So now what I want now, I want the equation for x of n minus k. So what I must do, replace k by n minus k. X of n minus k is what? In the equation, wherever k is there, replace k by n minus k. X of n into, what is that? W to base n to the power of n. Wherever k is there, what I must do, replace it by n minus k. What happens over here? Summation small n varying from 0 to n minus 1 x of n into, let's split this two things, Wn to the power of n into Wn to the power of minus n into k. Now, I think all of you know what this term is. Oh, okay, one second. I'm sorry, this is not. One second. Okay, it's not going to just overwrite it. No, it should just what overwrite it. This is Wn to the power of, say, n into n. This is n into n. I'm sorry for the mistake. Okay, fine. Now, all of us note that what this term stands for. What this term stands for? What is the value of this term, students? I wonder you people are there. What is the value of this term? In general, what is it? Yes,
One.
exactly. N power of
One.
n into n is always equal to 1. So this is equal to summation n varying from 0 to n minus 1 x of n multiplied by Wn to the power of minus nk, because this term tends to 1. Now, in the next step, I'll rewrite this equation in this way. You must say me why. Is it right or wrong? N varying from 0 to n minus 1. I'll write this as x complex conjugate of n into Wn to the power of minus nk. Is this line valid or not? Is it line valid or not? Can I write x of n as equal to x complex conjugate of n? Does mathematics allows me to write this statement? Yes or no? All of you have learned maths here for the past 3-4 years, right from your class 1 of your schooling. Okay, what kind of sequence is x of n? Is it real in nature, or what is that? Is it real in nature or complex in nature? What did I start with? It's real in nature. If I say x of n is real, or say for example, yeah, if I say, okay, where is that screen? Yeah. 1 second. Okay, yeah. If I say x of n is what my sequence, say 1, 2, 3, 4. It's what real in nature. So what is x complex conjugate of n here? Same sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? If I had some sequence, say for example, 1 plus j, 2, 3 plus j, then I say this is an imaginary sequence. It is not real in nature. For this, what happens to x complex conjugate of n? Is what? 1 minus j, 2, 3 minus j. Wherever that plus j is there, I must reverse the operator. But as long as x of n is real in nature, x of n is equal to x complex conjugate of n. Because 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, and 4 is 4. No change. Is it clear? So I'm able to rewrite this equation x of n as x complex conjugate of n. Why? Because I've assumed that x of n is what? Real in nature. So no harm. Madam, then why did you write it? I require it for the further step. So I'll write this as summation small n varying from 0 to n minus 1 x complex conjugate of n. I'll write this as Wn to the power of nk. I'll replace this minus sign by the term complex conjugate. I think you people can appreciate why. Generally, what is Wn to the power of nk? Yeah, what is Wn? E power minus j 2 pi by n into what? N into k, into n into k. If I write this as Wn to the power of nk complex, what is that? Conjugate. What happens here? Minus j gets turned into what? Plus j, isn't it? J times 2 pi by n nk, isn't it? So that is what I've done over here. See, this term Wnk complex conjugate, nothing but what? E power j 2 pi by nk. Okay, this is nothing but what? The complex conjugate of this particular term, this minus sign has got replaced by this complex conjugate, because the term minus j will get changed to what? Plus j. So then I'll rewrite this whole equation as summation small n varying from 0 to n minus 1. What is that? X of n into Wn to the power of nk, this whole thing under one single complex conjugate. Then I say, I'll rewrite this as the whole term as summation small n varying from 0 to n minus 1 x of n Wn to the power of nk into complex conjugate. What is the term within the square bracket equal to here? The term within the square bracket, whatever is this term in the square bracket, is what? Nothing but the equation for DFT. Yes or no? Very much true. This equation for DFT and this complex conjugate as it is. What was my LHS side? What did I start the derivation as? X of n minus k. X of n minus k is equal to x of k complex conjugate. This is the proof of the derivation. Is it clear? So as long as the given sequence x of L is real in nature, it's proven that x of n minus k is nothing but the complex conjugate of x of k. Now, or is the same thing from related the other way, or is nothing but what? Or is x of k is equal to what? Same thing, x complex conjugate of n minus k. Both means one and the same. Now, everybody listen. I'll give time for you people to speak. Just listen to me. See, this is whatever derivation I've done now. This is the generalized derivation for what? For a given sequence x of n to be real in nature. Now, under this, there are three sub-derivations. The first one is what? What if my given sequence x of L is real in nature, or it's said to be what? Just even in nature. If my given sequence is even in nature, what happens to the final? What's that? Equation. Similarly, the second one is what? What if my given sequence is real and odd? Now, what happens to my DFT equation? The third one is what if my given sequence is imaginary in nature? Imaginary even and imaginary odd. For this, there are three sub-derivations. So what I do is, like today afternoon, I'll just put either one or two recordings. It's pretty simpler. I'll record those three derivations and I'll post it in the canvas. Before coming to Wednesday's class, everybody should have gone through, should have learned or listened or should have understood the derivations. Any doubts, you can come back. Because those three derivations, again, I do not want to spend time. Okay? Those three derivations will be sent as a recorded video. Please do learn and come. In the next class, I'll start with the time reversal property directly. Because after this, there are again some 4 to 5 properties left. Again, we must do numericals to complete module 1. It takes time. The forthcoming modules are also very voluminous here. So please kindly bear, listen for the recorded video and come for the next class. Is it fine? Yeah. Any doubt, anything to be asked for today's class? Or is this derivation clear? If x of n is real, how do we prove that x of k is equal to x complex conjugate of n minus k? Yeah, if you people don't have got nothing to ask, I'll ask you something. Opinion from your class. All of you are there. All of you can unmute yourselves, students. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, if you don't want to ask anything, okay, fine. I hope things are clear. Today's class is clear. What I want to ask you is, see now using this, what is that? This board, whiteboard to do the derivations, is it more convenient, Or do you people feel convenient if I could use a PDF file? Already, if I had done it in a PDF file, if I could just scroll the PDF to explain the derivations, obviously that will consume less time because there is no need for me to write it. So will I use that PDF, the handwritten notes PDF to teach, or shall we use this board, whiteboard to teach? Which one is more convenient to you people? This is not subject. This is just your opinion. Do reply.
Both
Yeah.
are fine, ma'am.
Both are fine.
Anything is fine. Anything is fine.
We'll do one thing.
PDF is better, ma'am.
Yes, Pa? That girl told something. Okay, what I'll do is
PDF would,
PDF is better, is it? PDF is better.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. If PDF is better, we'll do one thing. From next class onwards, for all derivations, we'll go for PDF, and only for numericals, we'll use this whiteboard. Okay. Because on the whiteboard, again, I don't feel comfortable to draw it, to write things neatly. Okay. Probably if you could use PDF, you can go at a better pace. Okay, ma. From next class onward, for the next derivations, I'll use the PDF. Okay, fine. Anything else, students? Anything else? No. Okay. I'll just end the class. Okay, let's meet on Wednesday. Fine. And I heard a few students saying that, ma'am, we couldn't take up the quiz on Friday due to some network issue or whatever it is. Those students, kindly let me know. Okay, kindly let me know. I'll try what should I give a different quiz or what. I'll just look into it. Okay. You people please give me the list of students who couldn't take up the quiz. Done? Okay, pa. Have a nice day. See you all on Wednesday. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
fine.